Yo,
Welcome
here we
to
go.
Welcome to the Liberation Lab
Yo.
podcast. I'm excited to dive in with my bro Julian. Julian, listen, man. Before I go into anything, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
What's good, everybody? Bro, it's so good to see you again. Like, literally to be in the same place a year later, like connecting through a screen. Like, this is amazing. But to everybody who's like, who is this guy that's on this show? My name is Julian Marshall. I am a hip hop loving, Bible believing, love sharing, loud talking dad, teacher, and preacher from Kansas City. I ain't nothing special, man.
Listen, man. So for those who don't know, me and Julian connected. Was it a year ago now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And the story is just like insane. It's insane. Like how, and I'm still stuck on this, right? Like how half a year into the pandemic or a year and a half into the pandemic, you see a flyer on Instagram for a book study.
Yeah.
And was like, it was for dudes in Kansas City? I'm in New Jersey. And we were like, New Jersey? Okay. Let's send you some books. Like, put the books sitting there like I don't think I've ever told you this part of the story. So like we had you, Dr. Peters, and somebody else was like far away, right? So I'm at the post office, like sitting there. Oh, dang it, gotta throw the label out. Like I'm throughout like 6 or 7 labels just trying to make sure my handwriting was like perfect and the address was right and like you felt acknowledged and the label was like right in this, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's love, man. You know,
jeez.
I don't think I ever told you or anybody in the group that like it hit me like being in community with you brothers weekly, reignited and almost saved, I would say, my passion for teaching. I was ready to roll, bro. Find something else, do something
like
else.
completely out.
I had one foot in.
Wow.
At best. And it was really connecting with you brothers, talking through real issues, and then hearing like, no, man, we all in the class and this is what we're doing, and connecting and vibing on that level. It was something that I don't know if you can quantify with words.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And so for me, it was really important to get you on. Like I'm starting the podcast with you. Like you are the first guest.
That is an honor, yo. That you can't just.
You are the first guest, brother.
You can't just drop that on a dude like that, man. That's something you say pre-op.
No,
you gotta. Yo. Okay, pressure's on. All right. All right. Let me set the bar really low because I feel like you're gonna get like Chris or like Deanna or somebody else from your neck of the woods.
Yeah. One of my friend tours used to tell me, he said, I learned not to play on the tracks when the big trains is coming through.
I said, okay, let me take that. I learned to not play on the tracks when the big trains was coming through. Can we run back to the word that you used right before you quoted this? Did you say a friend tour?
A friend tour, yes.
What is
a friend is tour? Also a mentor?
A mentor?
Yes.
Wow. Thought I wanted to be very clear because that is how I want my mentorship relationships to be. Like I'm in a couple mentee relationships and I'm like, ain't no like structure to this. Like I can call that dude at 2:00 in the morning, you know, just like, hey, what's up?
Right.
You okay? You all right? Yeah. Like want to go do something this weekend, you know?
And that's what it should be, man.
Because that's where you really get to see the growth. Like one thing I've learned in education, you know, because I got into education because of Black men. So one thing I've come to see is that we don't do mentorship. We do little bro, nephew,
Yep.
cuz, right? It's deeper than like, okay, we gonna make sure you get a good job and then get your next good job and then get your next good job. Like, it's deeper than that for us.
Absolutely.
It's more like, okay, so let's get you your first job. Oh, now you're dating. Okay. How's that going?
Yeah.
You have a kid. I have a kid. Play date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it becomes like, oh, you're going to get a master's. I've been there. What do you need? Right? How are you doing? And we're going to, weddings, and now we've celebrated 5, 10, 15 years of friendship, and somehow along the way, every time you get a job or I get a job, or we hit a bridge here or a divot there, like we just step and step,
Yeah.
That's
So I want to pause there because you just said like it was through the relationships of Black, male relationships, people that took you under their wing, that you got into education. Talk to me about that. Like how do we find Julian the teacher, the educator?
okay. So 11. Let's go back 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same month, right?
Okay.
Trayvon Martin.
Absolutely.
Trayvon Martin. So I'm a senior in high school. Okay, in the spring of 13, whenever it was. I was either a junior or senior in high school, and I was always a smart kid. I was always the kid that talked too much, but I was also the kid that could really read and could really write. So somehow I ended up in a private all boys high school here in Kansas City, and then Trayvon died, and me and every other Black boy in the building wore a hoodie into the building and took the detention. And it was at that moment that I was like, oh, like, we got to do something about this. We have to do something about this. Like, Trayvon Martin, it hit home. He's 3 months younger than me. We're supposed to be the same age, right? And so I'm like, I'm gonna be an attorney. I'm gonna be a federal prosecutor. I'm gonna get in the system, and I'm gonna advocate, right? Like, I'm gonna work on behalf of Black boys, because this should not happen. Yeah. Well, fast forward to the summer before I go to college, George Zimmerman walks.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, no, like, now we got to do it. The next year was Mike Brown and Tamir. The next year was Laquan, Philando, Freddie, Ayanna, Sandra. The next year, and at the same...
Yeah.
And so I find myself going through college, and I'm like, and I'm a political science major. So I'm like, nah. I started organizing. I have led demonstrations. I put 900 people in front of the library on campus. Like, me and my best friends have launched a business, and failed at business. And one day my mentor calls me into his office, and it's just our regular check-in. Actually, no, I went in for an interview for the newspaper we had started. And this was after the interview. We were wrapped and we're just chatting now. And he goes, so what do you want to do? Like, so what's next? And this is a Black man, Dr. Casey Majay. He's at SMU. He's a vice president at SMU. And he goes, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to be a lawyer. That's not going to happen. My GPA is not in a place where I can go straight to grad school now. I don't know what works. And he was like, but I've seen you been going to this EKU, Edgewater Kids United, a nonprofit me and my friends started, where we're just on a Friday night got a partnership with a school down the street and a nonprofit. Bam, we done figured out a way to work with each other to open up a gym on a Friday night, feed some kids and introduce them to college kids. And now we get to see kids be free and play basketball and come up to us asking us, how do you navigate life? And what was you like at 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade?
Yeah.
He was like, I've seen you been doing that. So why don't you consider a career in education? And I was like, because I've been doing it for so long already. And he was like, and that's why I think that's your career. And so he sends me, literally within minutes, sends me an application to a job just up the road in Evanston, from Chicago, from Rogers Park, Chicago, at
Mhm.
YOU, and that's how I became a teacher. Like, first class I taught, I walked in and I was like, I taught entrepreneurship, helped entrepreneurship that summer, and then turned around and taught throughout the year poetry and poetics, and led a bunch of professional development for the team. Like,
Just walked
I
in.
was like, oh, just
Mm.
boom, right? And immediately, God was like, okay, you stepped, you're on water. Now I want you to understand you can do so much more.
More.
You go from a class of 15 once a week, right? And you're supporting other programs, but like my program, poetry and poetics, was a Tuesday, Thursday joint. Like, I just had my kids twice a week.
Yeah.
But now he's like, but you can do more. He put that seed, that seed that he puts in you, like, yeah, come on, you want more, you want more. So I took a job and I came back to Kansas City, because I was like, 15 kids ain't cutting it.
Mm.
Well, shoot, 60 kids did. And then I was like, this school ain't cutting it. Next thing I know, 270. And now I'm back down to normal numbers at like 120 a year.
Yeah. So
Like,
you when you talked about Trayvon, it hit hard. Like, I remember all the athletes coming out, and Dwayne Wade with the hoodie with his son, and
mhm.
all the things, and you said, yeah, even saying 10 years ago, it's just like, wow, wait a minute, where was I 10 years ago? I was a new father. My
Wow.
son is 11 right now in the other room. And then it brought me back to where I was when the verdict came out. I was holding my son, I was feeding him, and the verdict
Oh,
came
man.
out, and I'm weeping over my son, thinking about this little black boy and what he's going to grow up into. I was in my maybe third year of education. I was already in education. I was in Camden, New Jersey, poorest, roughest, voted most dangerous city to live in.
Every
Um,
teacher knows the story of Camden.
yeah. So
And
I was in the charter school.
that's so not fair. But we know the story of Camden. But yeah.
Yeah. Which for me, making the connection is, I think about myself as an educator at that point, and I didn't have a big enough vision to think about those who were coming, right, as an educator, those who are coming from various spaces and various places. I think about that way now. Like, what legacy are
Right.
we leaving as black educators, black male educators? But back then, I was just trying to feed my family, and it was very much of the grind of the day and just trying to survive.
Right.
But Trayvon shook me to the point where it was no longer about just the grind and being excellent that day, but it was about what comes after this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking at kids who wear hoodies all the time. I'm looking at kids who, they are everything that we know the beauty and elegance and variety that blackness
Yeah.
offers, and I'm seeing it, but I know that the George Zimmermans of the world will never see it that way.
Talk about it. Throw into that layer, right?
Yeah,
Because I wasn't a dad. I was just an uncle at the time.
yeah,
But now throw in the layer of the dehumanization that happens to the dead.
there it is.
And, as black folk, we say lead the dead to the dead.
Yeah,
And that's biblical. Like, that's Jesus talking, actually.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
we as black folk lead dead folk alone,
yeah.
right? But then to find Trayvon's mugshot, to find Mike's mugshot, to find the mugshot instead of finding the family photo.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
And so now it starts the question of representation, right? It starts the question of representation at this point. And it also starts the question of loss.
yeah.
Because now we are, as adults, and I had lost my mom at this point, so I'm numb to grief because I lost Trayvon. So that part of black identity, right? My black male identity has now been threatened.
Yeah.
My protector is now gone.
Mm, mm,
Right? Because dad in, out, shifty, shiesty. It's
mm.
just reality.
Yep.
But mama is mama.
Mama's
Right?
mama. Yeah.
Mama's mama, and the girls are the girls. All the aunties, girls are the girls. But so by this point, right, by the time we get to the end of college, by the time we get into the career, like them first couple of years, absolutely just on the grind. But luckily for me, I walk into a school with 8 black male educators, and I'm looking at black boys every day.
Mm.
Like, took my clippers to school one day because this boy's head was not okay.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
picture day. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No. And his parents called back up to the school and was like, "Did you cut my?" Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because your son was the only son without a haircut. So
Mm.
yes, I ran home on my plan period, grabbed my clippers, came back,
And cut yourself.
brought his corners down and just touched his line and combed his hair so he
That's,
could feel good.
you make, like, in that moment, I thought about the almost collective nature of that type of healing, because I literally did the same thing last year. The same exact thing. Picture day came up. I was teaching. Um, I've since transitioned. I'm in an admin role now. We can talk about that. Lord help me. But I am in the classroom, and my young boys is like, "Mr. Moore, can you cut your own hair?" Yeah. Can you bring your clippers tomorrow? Cause like it's picture day and I can't go. And it's one of the boys that, like, he is known to cause a ruckus,
Mm-hmm.
but because he knew regardless of what he did, he was going to be loved by me. He
Oh
came to
boy.
me and said, "Can you please?" And for him, that's rough. He does not show weakness. He cannot show weakness, and anything that
Mm.
is perceived as weakness, he ain't gonna do it. And so he,
He needs to read Things Fall Apart.
yeah,
He gonna see himself in every page.
and so he comes in, and he's like, "Can you please?" I bring my clippers. I was cutting the whole day. I didn't even teach that day
Oh
because
man,
kids were
you couldn't.
just, no,
You
absolutely
couldn't.
not.
And you was trying to figure out how to get it down, like the time, like because we want to
Yeah,
sit there and take 45 minutes,
5
but
minutes
like,
trying to blend it. Yes, yes.
but I can't because it's a lot of y'all out here. So
It's so bad, bro, that other classes start asking their teachers to come in. And
mm,
here's the thing: the teachers who are watching, who don't look like me, don't get the the black men's country club that is the barbershop. They don't
right.
get the medicinal even purpose of coming to get your haircut and just chopping it up. And so these brothers are in my classroom. I got music on the Promethean board. Like,
I was about to ask, like, did somebody cut some joints on?
yeah, yeah. So we just going and we talking, and here's the thing. There are kids who, and I've since left, I still talk to the kids. They hit me up to this day, thanking me for that moment. They won't remember a lesson I gave them on anything math related. Like, maybe they'll remember, like, they learned in my class or whatever, but they will
Mm-hmm.
remember that moment. The young ladies were in there, you know what I mean, kicking it, just cooling. And so I bring that up to say that your role, my role, the role of so many who will listen to this, like, we need black male educators in school. Like,
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
no. This is a non-negotiable. Did
But
you
it's
have?
it's a
You
non.
have one?
It's a nope. Not till college.
You didn't have one.
Well, okay. Time out. When we say, "Did you have one?" Like, are we talking about in the research, like in which lane? Because if we say in a core class, absolutely not. But
Right.
if we look at the general roles, like where did I have black male educators? I think there was a black man that taught band or
Yep.
music in like fifth
Yep.
grade, but I don't really remember him.
Hmm.
I think I had the class, but trauma suppresses memory, fuzzes it. I don't know. Black male football coach. He was also the ISS teacher, but I never went to ISS.
It's exactly the same for me. It's. I didn't have in the traditional sense of what we think about teachers. I had black coaches.
Mm-hmm.
They taught other subjects. They were gym teachers that I didn't have, or whatever have you. They were, phys ed teachers that I didn't have. But I didn't. I never had, like, I went to. I knew them, Mr. Tyler. To this day, I know Mr. Tyler. Mr. Tyler, you know, I
Coach
never
Waddy.
had him, but when days would come up for, like, us dressing up, he made sure my tie was straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, little things like that I will
Oh
never
man,
forget.
Coach Waddy walked in one day, and this is mid 2000s. Okay,
Yeah,
so I want you to like take whatever you know what the suits was looking like in the mid 2000s.
yeah.
Man, this dude 6'3", 2, maybe 3 something. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one of them brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Black, pinstripe.
Mm-hmm.
Silver was the pinstripe. Two-tone shoes. Two-tone shoes. French collar. Spread.
Yeah.
Windsor knot. And a brim.
I could see it. Clean.
Like, if he had theme music walking down that hallway, it had to be Cutie Pie. Like, that. Bum ba down, bum ba down, bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Like, Coach, what you all dressed up for? Had to go to a funeral today, young man.
So now you're on the other side. When I say that, I mean, you get to be the example that you didn't have, or you get to be the teacher that maybe you didn't have in school. So now kids are walking into Mr. Marshall's class.
Yeah, that's weird.
Talk to me about that. Like, all right, if I'm let's say it's my son. Let's personalize it.
Okay.
My son, Shane, is an engineer. He is my deep thinker. He's going to think about it 50 million times before he tells me, and then it's going to be this well thought out. Like he lives in his head. He's kind of like me, except he's an introvert.
Love it.
So he comes into class. He's shy, at least on the surface, till he gets to know you. Like, and we can get into this a little bit, but like I am working hard to let him be a kid and not force life to have me force him to grow up and toughen up.
Yeah.
Which is hard for me.
Because it's time. Because like for us at his age, right? It was time. It was time. Right? It's like, okay, you got to start learning some of these lessons, right? Or like, here's this lesson 101, lesson 2, like by the time you get to 18, you got to have this part figured out. So he walks in at 16.
He's walking in at 16. Right? Talk to me.
As a junior. First thing I'm going to say to him, like first day, like, I normally stay away from the front door of my classroom on the first day of school because there's kids who know me, right? And I teach 11th and 12th grade, so the seniors are going to be looking for me. So I try and like stay in the hallway in a way, and everybody kind of tells kids like, hey, of all days, do not be late to Marshall's class today. Mm-hmm. Like, you better figure out where his room is because on day one, it's a spectacle. You don't want to be late. Yeah. Because it is, right? Okay. So this is how day one goes for me. Normally, kids will get in, the bell will ring, and I'll be down the hall, right? I'll be in the hallway somewhere. The bell will ring, and I'll come moving down the hallway, and right before I walk in, boom, right above my door. Yurt! That's how I begin the year. And everybody knows by this point, right? Everybody knows to respond back. Yurt! And here we go. Right? So when I say my little intro, I'm a hip hop believing, well, guess what? That means you're going to hear it, whether that be lo-fi hip hop or lo-fi jazz, or I decide to go gospel one day. There is going to be a music, a rhythm that you are used to. Like I want your ancestral self to immediately be recognized when you walk into this space. Yeah. Okay. Now, so there's your hip hop loving. Okay. Yeah. I think there are lessons that come with hip hop, but let's come back to that later. Okay. Then I say I'm a Bible believing. Guess what? I understand what the district and the charter school says. There has to be a separation of church and state. Yeah. I'm not the church. I'm not the state. Yeah. Yeah. I don't work for the state. The state pay the school. So, but it gets a little tricky. Right. It gets a little tricky. I'm not sitting up here espousing and trying to, save lives every day, save souls every day. Like, no, y'all go to be in my class, pass my class. You got to believe in Jesus. That is not the thing here. But because I am who I am. Yeah. And because the I am that is gave me this body and this being, my job is to represent Christ in the world. So I can't not be me. I'm going to love you with the love of Jesus. Act a fool if you want to. Jesus had a remedy for that. I will throw something at you. And I mean it. There are video, like kids have put together like yearly montages. They make one every year of every throw that they can catch on camera. I throw markers, pencils, erasers, binder clips, balls. I'm looking at my desk drawer right now to see what else, like things I would throw. Hats, golf ball. No, I wouldn't throw a golf ball. I would not throw a golf ball. Chargers, pennies, quarters. Like, hey, back on me. Or you said something really good, and it's like, I can't come all the way to you to celebrate you, so catch. you know, like, way to go.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. Stop. I didn't want you to talk to me, Siri. Go to sleep. But like that's how it comes. Yeah. Right? So you got hip hop loving, Bible believing, loud talking. Man, I'm the loudest teacher in the building. Like my teacher voice is up. And it's this tone, but it's up here because I teach 26 kids, and when I get going, I sweat. I literally believe that if you're not sweating, you ain't teaching.
You ain't doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't doing it. Like if you ain't got just a little trinkle, like you should feel like even right now talking about it, like my body's getting excited, and so I can feel it right here. Like, oh my God. Oh, like if you're not moving, like if we got to get loud. I want kids to talk. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to laugh with you. I'm going to crack jokes. And don't you say nothing. Don't start none. Won't be none. It's equal opportunity around this joint. Yeah, like it's equal. You talk crazy to me, I'm going to talk crazy back to you. Like kids appreciate, and it seems weird, right? And administrators would say, you shouldn't talk to kids like that. Why not? This is a 16, 17, 18-year-old. Now, I'm not going to be blatantly disrespectful, but if you bring sass to me as an adult, I know how to Serena Williams you. You shot a shot. Bink, right back at you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You sent gratitude. Bink, I'll send gratitude. You bring attitude. I'll send you some attitude. Return. And it's not because I'm the adult and it's a power struggle. Right now, don't try and take no moral high ground with me when you know you in the wrong. Don't do that. But I admit, but I can say that because I admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And then so that's the three big things. But I show up as me. I tell kids when I'm having a great day or when I'm not having a great day. I went to a conference, came back, canceled curriculum for a week. My principal was like, I don't know if that was a good choice, but I was like, but did you see the level of engagement that I had from kids after being gone for 2 days? And I had them engaged for a week in a conversation about how school is crazy and it's jacked them up and why it's important for them to find themselves inside of school and what it would look like for them to find themselves and be free inside this building. You think it's a bad idea because I took a week off of the curriculum, but guess what? They took a week off to figure out who they were going to be inside this school building for the rest of their time here.
When I started, right now, I'm gonna tell on myself. When I started, this is my podcast. I will speak freely. I was handed a book, and that book was called "Teach Like a Champion." I now call that book "Teach Like a White Supremacist." And
I love that title. I really do love that title. Like I've taught out of that book too.
Yes. And because I was in a charter school, this is, you graduate college and you don't know necessarily how to teach. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to give you
content.
Yes.
But you don't know how to teach. Yeah.
I don't know how to connect the content to the person. And so they tell you, this is how you do it. And man, when I tell you I read it and soaked it up, I was doing all the things, bro. They were lined up. I was being seen. Look, I straddled. I was here. The pencil was in their hand within 30 seconds. I was that person. You better sit and star, right? And all the things. And I look back on that time and I still talk to those kids. And I've had to apologize. Knowing who I am now, you will love me so much more as an educator now than what I was then. Because all I did was try to control, but I never tried to inspire and I never tried to connect and love you to be the person that you can be and to know that I'm in the middle of this story, right? That's still being written about you. And I just get to play my little part.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
And so
that's good.
I want to ask you, I love the boom. Yeah, I love that. But was that always you?
No. So, graduate.
Yeah.
Go to YLU.
Yeah.
And at YLU, it's an after school program.
Yeah.
So my day runs 11 to 7. So, my day was running 11 to 7. I was in AmeriCorps. We come in, you got a group of young college grads that are excited about education, and we're getting like, and YOU is a equitable organization. When I say equity, my dog, whoo, don't nobody talk to me. Don't nobody talk to me, but don't really try and push a conversation on equity till you sit in a room and go, well, if you have not gone through, and this is for everybody who's listening, if you haven't gone through Beyond Diversity from Pacific Education Group, oh my goodness, you got to do it. It is a 2-day training that is so intense that it makes Black people cry. And it is not because it's traumatic. It's because it puts you literally, like, not just diversity for diversity's sake, but like, well, let's talk about equity. Mm-hmm. Like, what does your soul need? What does the inner kid in you need? So until you sit in a room of educators with Black men and Black women, white, Latino, and Asian,
yeah,
bi, gay, straight, rich and poor, homeless,
yeah,
and you get to sit back and, like, so we're working in a very equitable environment, like extremely equitable, like garden in the backyard equitable. Like, kids are taking care of this garden, and then whatever they sell at the farmer's market, they get to take home. Like, if you sold a bushel of greens for $2, Bobby, you got $2. Equitable. Okay, so you go from that to a school that specializes in first and second year teachers, that specializes in development. Mm-hmm. That school is literally if Relay and Uncommon got together and had a baby. Gotcha. What's the common denominator between Relay and Uncommon? Teach like a white supremacist 2.0.
2.0. Yeah.
And so that book was like, it set me up. Like, I got the routines, I got the procedures. Like, I made my classroom chants Black as all get out. My kids had to say Ashe every day. We end every class Ashe. So it is, and so it shall be. I'm teaching 5th grade.
Yeah.
We go into work sessions. I'm sneaking and plugging my phone in, but like, can't do it all the time, because as soon as somebody found out that I played music in class, now I got an instructional coach in here and telling me that that's inappropriate. I was definitely suppressed, right? But kids still recognize, like, I'd still slip it in every once in a while to teach figurative language. I was like, my name ain't big, but I keep that flame. What is Lil Wayne saying here? And these are 5th graders, so they don't know, right? Like, I can't play the song for them, but like, what is he saying here? And they're like, oh, he's saying as a rapper, like, he spit fire. You got it, right? And so it wasn't always me. It was definitely suppressed, but like, I got out of there after 1 year. I signed a 2-year contract, but I broke it. Like, I had to go. Y'all are sucking my soul. My body was breaking. I have eczema. My body was breaking. My body broke 3 times that year.
Wow. That part right there is, it sums up what I believe much of the educational experiences for people who look like you and I.
Mm-hmm. Get sucked up, chewed up, spit out.
Yeah. And if you don't learn to socialize, AKA if you don't learn to be conditioned, if you don't learn to let it break you, and to to almost get used to it, and it's not just code switch, it's almost like a code switch of the very soul core of your personhood.
It is what our uncle called in Philadelphia drapetomania. You are exhibiting signs of drapetomania. And I see it. I already see it in your face. So I'm going to just take the question and go. So what is drapetomania? It is a medical affliction ascribed to enslaved persons who desire freedom. It is a curable, hear me now. It is a curable mental affliction ascribable only to enslaved persons who desire freedom. In other words, that slave who wanted to be free is crazy. Listen to the words: drape, to hide. Maniacal, to hide or to escape. Mania. Escape craziness. You want to escape the craziness, and you have to be conditioned to let it break you. Because and here's the crazy part, it's curable. How do they cure you? Well, one way of curing is violence.
Yeah.
So when my skin literally peeled from the top of my head to the sole of my feet, or when we tell kids who do not sit up straight with their arms flat on the table, with their feet flat on the floor, turning their head and paying attention to the speaker, when we're telling the kid who would rather do sketch notes to keep up with the conversation.
Yep.
That is violent. When we say off task demerit because Johnny, who has an undiagnosed IEP, is playing with his sock and it's keeping him sane, but he's supposed to have both hands or he's supposed to be reading, we're calling it off task. Now you are ascribing violence to his body. So one way to cure it is with violence. So we beat it out of you.
Yeah.
Or what happens to the teachers? Hey, how does 5% sound next year? What if we let you pick your prep partner and let you pick your classroom? And we'll throw an extra $500 onto your classroom budget. Oh, you wanted to get a new rug for your classroom? No problem. Let me put it in another term. Come work in the big house.
My.
You'll take care. You'll be in charge of washing all the linens for the big house. You'll be in charge of setting the table in the big house. You'll be in charge of the kitchen at the big house. Ooh, Steven, you'll be in charge of every Negro in the big house.
You sure will. Oh, you sure will. Cause you're the Negro whisperer. Oh yeah. You go ahead and control them little jokers. You know what I'm saying? You say the things that we can't necessarily say, but you be our voice. So you trumpet the white supremacist high control values on them, but they're going to trust you because your skin and their skin, your culture, their culture, it unites in such a way that now we can use you to further our message.
Hello. Put it to you like this. At that school, I'm a first-year teacher. Why did they go on a field trip and leave me to be the dean? They gave me my whole room. They put me with another teacher.
Yeah.
But so I'm on fifth grade. I was on the 5th grade floor. There's a 6th grade floor.
Yeah.
Right? There is a dean in the building.
Yeah.
For our 2 floors. There's a dean in the building.
Yeah.
But don't even worry about it. I got 5th grade floor. It's 3 other teachers down here and me. Don't trip. On plan period, you got your walkie-talkie on and you hear a kid's name come across. Marshall's responding. I don't even got to say nothing. We got these big old glass windows, right? I ain't even got to say nothing. Just pull your blinds up, please. And then get in that glass like this. It's sick. It's sick, but it's drapetomaniacal. And and the crazy thing is we have to be so crazy. We're so crazy as black male educators who do after you get past year 3, right? Because years 1 through 3, you don't even realize. Don't even fully realize how crazy it is, just teaching in general.
Absolutely.
But then you get past year 3 and you're like, oh, snap. Oh, I gotta go back. Like, okay, I've been broken. I get it now. Now I gotta go back because I gotta make sure that wherever I work, not just my classroom, wherever I work becomes a space of authentic freedom.
Yeah.
And self-expression. Like, who are you, little black person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know who you are? Do you know what's on you? Don't make me fall in love with you because now I'm going to pray for you. And if I pray for you and you go do something stupid, which you are inevitably going to do because you are a child. I'm going to want to wring your neck.
Absolutely.
I told a young man today, and you've probably had the same conversation. How you going to get pissed off at me for holding you to an expectation that I know you are capable of meeting, yet you will not produce? How you going to be mad at me for that?
That sound like my day today. Sound like my today, dog.
You got an attitude with me because I expect you to fucking learn? excuse my language, because I expect you to learn.
Yeah.
But I did my work, bruh. 55%.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even passing.
Yeah.
55%, my boy.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Is it really gonna do some difference? Well, the work you're doing this week is worth 100 points, so it can offset that 100 points that you're missing. But I shouldn't have to tell you that for you to meet my expectation.
Right. Right.
I mean, it makes a difference, does it? Because you still didn't get full points for today. So does it? Well, why didn't I get full points? Did you do everything I asked you to do? No.
What are we talking about, Don?
So why are we talking? So back to the first question. Why you mad at me? And it's the same question that we can turn around and ask to administrators and to some of the schools as we think about the violence that we enact, whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, right, sociological, as we allow this violence to happen. How you gonna get mad at me for holding you to an expectation that I know you're capable of, but you will not produce?
Yeah. Yeah.
Little white kids feel free in classrooms all day. Why can't little black kids feel free? Little white kids get access to tutors, and those tutors, because it's not the public schools. Can we please be real? Just because you go to school in the suburbs don't automatically mean you got these bomb-ass teachers who just all nationally board certified and know they shit and getting everybody to college. No, it's because you have a tutor. You get tutors and you got study groups and they putting you in these extra classes for ACT and ACT and you have access.
Resources.
It ain't even resource. You just got to say door. Door.
So let's say a teacher's listening to us, dog. They hear the conversation. They're like, yep, it resonates with me. But how do I get free? I am that teacher. I have been doing that. I have been enacting and echoing the message points and championing this high control. I have been constricting the voices of, my black and brown, say black, kids. What do you say to them?
Same thing somebody said to me. You got 7 rights. You got 7 rights in your body. Oh no, Chris wrote about it. We didn't get to this. We didn't get to talk about it in the chapter of Ratchetdemic last year in the book study.
Yeah.
But he talks about it in Ratchetdemic. There are 7 rights of the body. You have the right to be here.
Yeah.
You have the right to feel.
Yeah.
You have the right to act upon those feelings.
Yeah.
Somebody slaps you. You have a choice.
Do have a choice.
You have a choice,
right?
You felt it. You're here. You felt it. Now you get to act.
Yeah.
You have the right to love and you have the right to be loved. You have the right to speak truth to power and the truth of power. You have the right to see your future, yourself, the space you are in, the space you occupy, all as valuable, and you have the right to know who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. You have those 7 rights. But declaring those rights over yourself oftentimes puts you in conflict with yourself. And I get it. I've been there. And I'm still there some days. You're not going to exercise all 7 rights every day. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But the reality is that when you realize that as a black male educator or as a black educator, when you walk into the room, you are a vision of potential realized. You exhibit it, you are putting on display for your children, whether they be black, white, brown, yellow, purple, whoever, you are putting on by virtue of your existence these 7 rights, because you as a black person shouldn't be here. It wasn't set up for you. So by the pure virtue that somebody hired you, by the pure virtue, I'm starting to preach now. By the pure virtue that somebody hired you, by the pure virtue that little baby comes in there every day just to say good morning and ask you for some food, by the pure virtue that you can throw something at a kid, by the pure virtue that you can look at a kid sideways and it will change behavior, by the pure fact that your hugs mean something to a child, you are a vision of potential realized, and you exercise the right to be here, to feel and have all of the feelings, to take action based off of those feelings, whether it be rage or resonance. Whatever that feeling may be, you have the right to act upon it. You have the right to move out of love, whether that be agape love or philia love. Because I don't love all my white coworkers, but listen, because you're taking care of my children,
yeah,
I may not like you, but I gotta love you because I need to love you in the way that I expect you to love them. And as I do that, I have to speak truth to you because you hold systemic power in these spaces.
Yeah.
Because you might hold purse strings or you hold somebody's contract. I need to speak love into you. That is truth. Love don't lie. Let me be very clear about that. 4 and 5 tie together. Love don't lie. Love is always going to be the truth.
Yeah.
So I can speak to power and I can speak of that power.
Yeah.
And then I can, because I see a vision that don't match here. And I know that this vision ain't going to cut it. So by pure virtue, if you're a black male educator, if you're a black educator looking at this and you trying to figure out where is freedom, where is liberation, breathe, touch your hands together. You are the liberation, right? Like that is what we believe at Block is like if we can get these brothers in the same place together, and put them in a space where they can connect and engage and where we can connect them to each other. We can engage in a community to engage with the outside community and develop technical skills. Bruh, give me the lock and the key.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I do this.
I can think of no better place but to pause and let that marinate. You are liberation. If anybody's listening to this and, God hope, God willing they will, I want them to walk away with that. Like you have your 7 rights, but your ability to do this in a way that's befitting who you are and how you show up, you are liberation. I say this and then, I want to kick it back to you for any closing thoughts and things, but when I first started doing like just Instagram interviews and connecting with folks, I called the show Free Speech. I would be, come in as free speech, conversations about liberation. And in the first season, I said, what is liberation and how do you pursue it? I would ask that question as my final question for every single person. And people give me extravagant answers and just show me the nuance and complexity. And I love it because I always talk about like a differentiated liberation. It's not going to look the same for everybody. But I've never had someone say, you are it. And I'm going to take that with me. And I hope our listeners take that with them. That they are liberation personified if they choose to walk in it. That's good, man. Bro, tell the people how they can connect with you. Any final thoughts as we close out our time, man? I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time. So thank you, man. Go ahead.
I just think there's okay, so go look at what Nina Simone said about freedom. And like then it might just add a layer of resonance here. So like what does it mean? What does liberation mean to me? It's can I be me?
Yeah. Can
I be me? Right? Whether that's the good me or the bad me or the angry me or the happy me, do I have room to evolve? Do I have room to grow? Do I have room to be imperfect? Do I have room to do this and not have to worry if you're gonna judge me or even worse, assassinate my character because of a moment of confusion or conflict or chaos for that matter? Is my character able to withstand that?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Okay. Get off of it. So where can you find me? Facebook is my name. That's for all the people. Like, if you want to see the churchy family side of me, go to Facebook. Okay. If you want to see, like, just I love Instagram. I'm new to TikTok. My Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok are all the handle that you see right in front of me. Even my Facebook. So, like, if you follow that handle, that's me. I'm based out of the city. I'm based out of Kansas City, the city in America with the best barbecue. Like it's up, man. It's up. I'm teaching. I'm in grad school. I graduated in September.
So,
I'm coming to the air with a podcast later this year called Heart and Hustle. It's just conversations with dope people trying to navigate their 20s and 30s. You know, like they got 3 C's. They got a little bit of Christianity. They got some culture. They got a career. And they're trying to navigate that chaos. That's the show, you know. And a lot of times those conversations boil back down to where's your heart and how is your hustle, right? So that's the show that I want to bring to the air, to bring conversations like this one to life, man. I'm just so grateful to be here. Like, this conversation really rejuvenated me. Man, I'm gonna make sure to get you a copy of this year's books, but we're doing in person this year, so I'll be sure to get you a copy.
I was looking. Absolutely.
The work never stops, man. The work never stops. This is great, man. To every heavy hitter that comes after me, I was playing on the tracks because I'm a big train too.
Yeah, like, talk heavy, sir.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me. God. For a long time, you know, I didn't realize I was magic, and then when I did realize I was magic, it's like kind of like Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
You're just weird, and nobody knows it. Like, you don't get it, and then like, oh my God, like you get in, and you're like, I can be one of the greatest.
What?
And I can be one of the greatest. Like, everybody can know me.
That joker got on the other side. Said, "Let him go out here, another your side." I said, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Swish and flick. Okay,
that's it. That's it.
Swish and flick. Like, okay. And that's how I feel about education, man. Like, at this point, like, I'm at probably like book number 5. Like, I'm about to walk into the Deathly Hallows. Like, let's go save the freaking day.
Let's do it.
But I think that's what needs to happen to keep Black male educators going, right? Like, and to keep Black educators going is we have to build a community where we can sit back and have these conversations, where we can sit back and be like, hey, you need this element plus this element plus this element in your heart, and you're gonna be great. So what are those 3 elements? You need love, and you need love. Oh, and you need your heart. Oh, you need love. Like, that's, if you can figure out a way to love yourself, and then love your kids, and then love their hoods and that culture, you're never not gonna work with kids. That doesn't mean you're gonna teach forever. That doesn't mean you're gonna be somebody's principal for forever. But if you can, and I think this is just in life, if you can operate out of love,
that's it, Doc.
But if you can operate out of love, everything will be all right. I promise. So with that,
I'm gonna just hit the stop button right now.
Wait. I gotta hit my call sign. Yeah. Love, peace, and Afro Sheen.
Hey.
We out.